Что ты думаешь по поводу того, что тебя сместили внезапно с первой строчки pound for pound?
Ну это маркетинг. Они делают это специально, чтобы разогреть этот бой. Ну, у людей уже есть интерес к этому. Значит, они делают правильно, и мы будем бороться за первое место в рейтинге.
Islam Makhachev has finally addressed the growing talk around a possible clash with Ilia Topuria, as well as the recent shakeup in the pound-for-pound rankings. Meanwhile, his coach Javier Mendez clarified that Makhachev had long considered a move to welterweight, well before Topuria's rise, and any rumors of him ducking the featherweight champ are simply false. Mendez gave credit to both fighters, calling them elite talents, and said a future showdown is definitely possible. However, the team's immediate concern is the high-stakes test ahead against Jack Della Maddalena. Mendez warned that underestimating JDM could derail everything and force them to rebuild from scratch.
The whole idea about Islam going up to welterweight was already in his mind before even Topuria was even in the picture. So this is not something that Islam was trying to, avoid. This and no, he wanted the legacy fight. What would you want? I mean, like what Topuria did was fantastic too. He wanted the legacy fight. I applaud both of them. I think they're both unbelievable fighters, and I think at some point maybe the UFC will match them together. But let's be honest, we have to get by JDM too, and that's not going to be. Habib and I have our work cut out for us, and other coaches. This is not an easy task. This is a very dangerous individual, and we better come at it correctly. Otherwise, we're going to come out looking. What next? There is no next.
Shiel Sonnen also weighed in, pushing back against the narrative that Islam Makhachev has a significant size advantage over Ilia Topuria. According to Sonnen, the difference between the two weight classes isn't as drastic as some make it out to be. He dismissed the idea that Ilia would be physically overwhelmed, calling it exaggerated. In fact, Sonnen noted that it's often the elite wrestlers who run into the most trouble when facing highly skilled opponents from the lighter divisions.
Size not no. I mean, there is a different size of guy. Like there's little guys that don't know they're little guys, and then that's really offensive. It's like really offensive if you call them. I'm not attempting to be offensive. Do 45 pounders and 55 pounders not know? You weigh the same thing. You weigh the exact same thing. If you get on a scale and it says 145, and another dude gets on the scale and it says 155, that scale says the exact same thing. Are you not aware of that? Do guys that size not know that? There is no size difference between Ilia and Islam. It's a 145 versus a 150.
Islam Makhachev recently addressed his sudden drop from the top spot in the pound-for-pound rankings, calling it a promotional tactic. In his view, it was a deliberate move to build interest, likely aimed at setting up a future showdown with Ilia Topuria. Makhachev didn't seem bothered, saying the hype means the UFC is doing its job, and now the stage is set to settle who truly deserves that number one position. On the other hand, Beneil Dariush gave credit to Topuria, saying he may very well be the most deserving new face in the lightweight mix. Still, he questioned whether Islam's team would be willing to take on yet another featherweight contender, especially after already facing two former 145ers. While he admitted Topuria is a dangerous opponent, Dariush pointed out that the fight might be a tough sell, given Topuria's background in the division below.
Что ты думаешь по поводу того, что тебя сместили внезапно с первой строчки pound for pound?
Ну это маркетинг. Они делают это специально, чтобы разогреть этот бой. Ну, у людей уже есть интерес к этому. Значит, они делают правильно, и мы будем бороться за первое место в рейтинге.
Jorge Masvidal voiced full confidence in Ilia Topuria's grappling abilities, saying he'd stake everything on the young contender. He highlighted Topuria's aggressive but calculated ground game, pointing out how well-rounded and efficient his takedown defense has become. According to Masvidal, even a slight mistake in trying to wrestle Ilia can backfire. He has the skill to reverse positions fast and put his opponent in serious trouble.
I think it would still go the same. I think, Islam has such a big size advantage, and if he, distance kicks, takedown, rinse and repeat. If he continues to mix those things up, I think it would be a difficult fight for Ilia. But from what I saw, it wouldn't surprise me if he was able to put Makhachev's lights out too.
Joe Rogan had high praise for Islam Makhachev, describing him as one of the most dominant fighters in the sport today. He highlighted Makhachev's knockout victory over Alexander Volkanovski in their rematch, along with his submission finish against Dustin Poirier. Rogan called Islam a force on the ground. Once he gets control, he completely shuts his opponents down. He also emphasized that Makhachev is competing in what many believe is the deepest, most competitive division in all of MMA.
Bet the house on Ilia. His grappling, offensively, it's very good. If you shoot it on this guy's legs and you make a mistake and you're the one going for the takedown, he has a very good chance that he might.
Rogan also shared his surprise at just how big Islam Makhachev looks in person. He mentioned that it's hard to believe Makhachev cuts down to 155 pounds, guessing that outside of fight camp, he probably walks around near 190. Rogan described him as dense and compact, clearly larger than most guys in the lightweight division.
Makhachev is so good. He's so good that he head kicked Alexander Volkanovski in the rematch. He submits everybody. He submitted Dustin Poirier. He's a monster. When he gets guys on the ground, he just crushes them. And you could argue that he's dealing with a deeper talent pool. So his weight class is, in my opinion, the most talent-rich weight pool in the sport. 155 pounds is filled with a sack.
Mateusz Gamrot shared his thoughts on a possible clash between Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev. While he admitted the matchup is interesting, Gamrot expressed skepticism about Topuria's chances. He pointed out that Topuria is physically smaller, and that Islam's strength and size would be a major factor. According to Gamrot, competing with someone like Makhachev requires not just skill, but also the physicality to match his power and dominance in every area. Without that, he believes Topuria would face an uphill battle.
Makhachev is huge. I mean, that guy, how he makes 155 is, I don't understand it. Every time I stand next to him, like, how are you 155?
How much do you think he walks around?
He's got to be 190-ish, in the 190 range. He's got to be. That's what he looks like to me.
I never saw him in a person.
Yeah, he's thick. He's thick and big. He's not 155 pounds.
Michael Chandler weighed in on the stylistic contrast between Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria. He emphasized that Makhachev is the naturally larger athlete in the lightweight division and praised his elite-level grappling. However, Chandler gave the striking edge to Topuria, suggesting that if Ilia can keep the fight on the feet, he poses a real threat. Still, Chandler leaned toward Islam as the favorite, citing his strength, experience, and well-rounded arsenal as key advantages.
Me, interesting fight, but but I don't know. Topuria is small guy. Islam is really big guy, and I don't think that Topuria has changed against him. If you wanna fight with Islam, you have to be like big guy, like similar like him, because he's good everywhere. But if your body is smaller than him, so you don't have change for sure.
Arnold Allen offered insight into why Islam Makhachev might be hesitant to take on Ilia Topuria. According to Allen, Islam likely prefers defending his belt against top contenders within the lightweight division, especially after already dealing with featherweight challengers and short-notice opponents. While he admitted that Topuria is a serious threat and defeating him would be a huge statement, Allen, despite having underestimated Ilia in the past, still predicted that Makhachev would control the fight and come out on top.
If Islam fights Ilia, I think there's definitely a size difference. I think Ilia is a lot smaller than Islam. Islam is a big lightweight, a tall lightweight, and he's good in every area. However, Ilia's definitely got the edge in the striking department, and Ilia is very, very, very patient. Now, if he's able to not get taken down and he's able to just patiently break down Islam with those big shots that he lands, the big punches that he lands, it's going to be a good night for Ilia. But I think if Islam gets his hands on him and gets him taken down, grappling with 145-pounders is a lot different than grappling with Islam, who is one of the best grapplers that we've seen in a very long time. He's strong. He's great at doing damage and getting good positions. I'd have to give the edge to Islam just by size, by strength of schedule thus far and defending the belt, but I wouldn't count Ilia.
Arman Tsarukyan shared his perspective on the potential clash, calling it a competitive and tightly matched fight. He praised Ilia Topuria's crisp boxing skills, but noted that Topuria hasn't faced a grappler on the level of Islam Makhachev. Tsarukyan added that the result could swing either way and admitted that if he doesn't land the next title shot himself, Topuria would be a strong candidate for that opportunity.
I understand why Islam wouldn't want it, right? He wants to fight legit contenders, and he's had like featherweights, ex-featherweights, late notice guys, replacements. He wants to sort of solidify his title reign. But probably is no bigger fight than Ilia, right? If he goes and batters Ilia, it looks pretty good.
Do you think he beats Ilia?
These guys. I don't know. To be honest, I ruled him out a few. Oh, we're gonna get run. Hello.
About to get ran over.
Good.
Sorry. My bad.
I don't know. Every time I've ruled him out, he proves me wrong. So I'm not gonna do it again. Yeah, like I say, I think Islam wins and he gets ironed out.
Max Holloway weighed in on the idea of Ilia Topuria moving up in weight, saying that if Ilia keeps winning, it'll be hard to deny him the opportunity. He described the potential showdown as a massive super fight and praised Topuria's incredible knockout power. Holloway added that Ilia should never be underestimated, no matter the opponent. While he personally hopes for a rematch, Holloway said it's ultimately Ilia's decision and he wouldn't stand in the way. He believes the matchup would deliver serious excitement.
Topuria moving up to lightweight. If he does fight Islam Makhachev, how do you think that fight goes?
I think it'll be an interesting matchup because I look at Islam is very good about using his length and throwing the body kick. So are we going to see Ilia Topuria catch a kick for a takedown and start grappling with him? I doubt it. Ilia Topuria is a better boxer. We saw what Islam could do against a good boxer when it comes to Dustin Poirier.
Armand Sarukian shared his perspective on a potential clash between Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria, calling it a highly competitive and evenly matched fight. He acknowledged Topuria's crisp boxing skills but pointed out that Ilia hasn't faced a grappler on Makhachev's level yet. Sarukian admitted the outcome could go either way and added that if he's not next in line for the title, Topuria would be a strong candidate for the opportunity.